I'm in a group because I really enjoy being in a group and playing music. And for me, like, the day spent here, we don't actually record anything, but we kind of play and we just like talk to each other. It's something that I've always wanted. It's like a really excellent way to live. It's a really good environment. I feel really lucky a lot of the time. The current lineup of the band is Robert, Simon, me, Roger and Jason. Roger coming back.
Roger O'Donnell on keyboards, Jason Cooper on drums, Robert on vocals and guitar, and Perry on guitar, and me on bass.
I joined the group in 1987 after they'd finished recording Disintegration, and that was quite a keyboard-orientated record. And they felt that they needed somebody to come in to cover the more complicated keyboard parts. It also meant that Paul didn't have to play keyboards anymore and could play guitar all the time, and it meant that Robert didn't have to play as much guitar, so it was like a shift around.
Paul left to start painting, and then he ended up playing with Page and Plant. It was like his dream come true. Boris's departure was a bit unexpected. I think he's playing in another group with his girlfriend.
I didn't want to leave the group when I did. It was just felt like the right thing to do for me. I wanted to try and do something on my own. I'd been in groups for such a long time, playing other people's music. Although with The Cure, I was involved in Disintegration, and when I just wanted to try something else, and I did. But I missed the group. After about 3 years, I was sadly missing it. So Robert phoned me and said he wanted me to come over and play piano on 4 of the songs, and I said I'll be there tomorrow. And I actually came about 2 weeks later, and when I arrived, I said I'm not leaving, I'm staying, and that was it.
With regards to keyboards, it was all right because we knew who we wanted. It was just whether Roger wanted to come back. But sort of finding the new drummer was untapped territory. It was a bit, took quite a while, but we found Jason, which is good. I don't know if he knows that he's in the group. I don't know if he knows who he is actually.
Well, there was an advert in a paper called Melody Maker, and it was, I think the ad said, very famous band needs drummer, no metalheads. So I answered that. Well, I'd filled it in, and as I was sending it back, I looked on the envelope and it said Charlotte House, fiction. So I sort of thought, well, there's only one very famous band. But I wasn't quite sure, but then they told me, obviously, after I'd passed the first hurdle. And there was kind of various other auditions. One was a videotaped one where I just went into a room and played the drums, did a sort of drum solo, and then they played 2 tracks from the new album, and I played along to that, and they recorded it. And then subsequently I just went and played 2 songs with them, I think, and then came down here to where we're recording now and recorded another 2, and that was it.
Sun is up, I'm so happy I could scream. And there's nowhere else in the world I'd rather be. But here with you, it's perfect. It's all I ever wanted. Oh, I almost can't believe that it's for real. So
It's like, I always say to people it's like being in a completely new band, but it virtually is, the way personnel has changed around.
I really don't think it gets any better
when Roger left before, it was quite sort of sad, really. I mean, there was a lot of tensions going on at the time, but now it's sort of older and wiser, and it's really good fun.
We swim, clouds should fire, everything is like a dream. It's everything I will. Never guessed it got this good. Wondered if it ever would. Really didn't think it could. Do it again, I know we should.
It is a different atmosphere, and also with Jason being in it, it's sort of the different components make it. It's still funny, but it's funny in a different way.
I think that almost the perception of the Cure is kind of that they're very sombre, sort of. But there's a lot of quite good jokes, generally good jokes, sometimes not so good.
So busy I could buzz. Yeah, you went through for me headfirst. Into this is perfect. It's all I ever want.
I know he had a lot of problems with lyrics on this album. He said that he came into the project with like a book full of them this thick and he didn't use any of those.
Never guessed it got this good. Wondered if it ever would. Really didn't think it could. Do it some more.
It sounds like the Cure to me. I mean, it sounds really good.
Said it will always be like this. The two of us together. It will always be like this. Forever and ever and ever.
It's been very difficult arriving at the combination of songs for the album, because the album could sound completely different depending on, it's split pretty evenly between my original idea for the record, which is going to be very, very acoustic and like real strings and something quite an intimate sort of sound, and some of the other stuff which is very kind of loud and sort of like rock. And there's this third element that's crept in, a very kind of quirky, sort of strange song, which like every fifth song tends to be. A couple of songs are quite banal, really, but in a charming way, I hope. Some of the others are very difficult to listen to. They are all really different. I mean, that's why the album's called Wild Mood Swings, because it does kind of like jump wildly. He'd written some songs which were a different style than I'd heard before, and I thought, this is the way it's going, you know. There's a lot more acoustic.
Yeah, that was it. That was the Jupiter Crush.
I really like Jupiter Crush, and it's a really good song.
I think that's lyrically one of the best songs Robert's ever written. The words just work brilliantly.
The sound of the sea. She just drifted away from me. Yeah, so much gravity.
Wild Mood Swings, yes, I think it's aptly named.